Jonathan Goldstein on CBC Radio 1 and Sirius Satellite Radio 137. Today's episode, Soulmate.
This is all before you decided to run off with Tommy. Before you, quote-unquote, had found your soul's mate. A man who could tame your indomitable spirit. A man who could quench your thirst for all things at once. This was back when you were still with me. A man who could hardly even quench your thirst for a soda. We were living together in Brooklyn. It was the summer, and you said you wanted to road trip through Canada to discover the Great White North. And discover it you did, using my broken heart as a road map. For all along the Trans-Canada, you broke my heart, Joanne. On many golf courses in St. John's, you putt my heart like a pigeon egg through windmills. On Alberta prairies, you reared your foot all the way back to the Maritimes and roundhouse kicked my heart up through the top of my head. In greasy spoon diners, you ate my heart like a sweaty soft-shell tortilla and played sad songs on the jukebox of my soul, paid for with quarters made from the rusted fillings of my teeth, teeth chattering about your betrayal, teeth broken like cash register mints. Impotent mints, for they could never bring minty freshness to the gray cobwebbed manse of my soul. In Calgary truck stop bathrooms, you peered into the urinal of my heart and pulled out the urinal stones of my soul. Trembling in a wet bathing suit, wrapped in the threadbare lie that was your love, my flesh became a sandpaper made of goosebumps, which you, Joanne, used to sandpaper off the toenails of my cherubs, cherubs whose backs you stabbed with the steely blades of my own lack love. Hitchhiking in your red Hyundai through Manitoba, I turned to you, aloof, blonde-haired, filled with reproach. The invisible laser beams of your hatred sawing the invisible piano wires of my soul's halo, pleading, screaming, tearing my heart into a bloody punk rocker's t-shirt with the desperate fingernails of my soul. As you, Joanne, checked your cell phone's voice messages, telling me, finger in one ear to block out the sound of my voice, and I quote, "Can you please just shush for 10 seconds? I think I have a message from Tommy."
Tommy.
Yes.
Tommy.
Yeah.
Well, actually, that's my husband's name. You're using his name.
But, well, it's a part of the poem.
I don't want to hear his name on the radio. He doesn't want to hear his name on the radio. You can't reference...
Why can't I just say Tommy?
And Joanne.
Well, that's your name.
Uh-huh.
I use it for a rhyme scheme later on in the poem.
You're kidding me.
I rhyme Joanne with woe man. Woe man.
Like woe man or
woe
like...
is man, woe man, you know, you're the woe man, I'm the man.
Oh,
Joanne.
my God. You have to change it. I don't want you using my name.
Look,
Forget
you know
it.
what?
Lose it. I don't want you. You're not allowed. It's my name. No.
You know what? I called you up on the telephone because I wanted to clear it with you. Okay?
And I obviously don't want you to read
You know what? I was actually expecting you to be touched. Are you really mad about this? Have you never been celebrated in verse?
I don't want to hear it.
No one's going to know that it's you and your husband. You know what I mean?
You referenced my red Hyundai.
Did you hear the stuff that I said about that diner that we stopped in where we played the jukebox?
No.
You didn't get that reference?
No, I didn't get that.
Or what about the mini golf course? Remember when we played mini golf?
Was that after hours? When you made us sneak in and then we just walked the course and we couldn't even rent the clubs? Is that what you're talking about? Yeah, that was really fun.
You know, Joanne, you have a very selective memory. You know that? You know, I remember the good. I see the good.
No, you make it up. You're pathological.
I'm not.
You're making it up.
You know, you're the kind of person who only sees the worm and never the apple that the worm is inside. You just see the worm. I see the apple.
That's so not true. You wouldn't even buy the apple. No way. In fact, I prefer if you just scratch the whole thing altogether.
I mean, this
First of all, it's not very good. Second of all, I don't want to hear it.
Oh, well, you know what?
It's an invasion of my privacy. It's an invasion of his privacy. It's personal.
Well, that's what writers do. Look, I have to follow my muse.
That's pathetic.
Listen, your husband knows we had a relationship. It's a part of your history as well as mine. You know what I mean? He's an adult. That's what he understands, that you dated a writer.
It's obnoxious. Honestly, what do you want? Do you want us all to stand up and applaud your great poem?
I mean, this isn't the whole poem. It's a part of actually, it's a part of a 420-page poem about betrayal. It's called Trans-Canada Delilah.
You're kidding.
No. That whole, trans-Canadian road trip.
And you think that's normal?
You probably don't remember how we spoke. I mean, we spoke about it as something that was going to be incredibly romantic, and it basically became the worst experience of my life. You know what? You tied my heart to the back bumper and you hit the gas pedal. That's what it was like.
On
we made
with
it through
the drama.
3
You're
provinces.
so dramatic.
It was our dream. I mean, it turned into a nightmare.
No. It was your dream. It wasn't my dream. I hate road trips. I get car sick.
I remember you having a passion. I don't know.
No.
You liked...
No way. You know what? It was manipulative on your part, I think.
Why?
I think, honestly, it was your attempt to get me out of Brooklyn. I think that you sensed I was getting closer to Tommy, our relationship was going nowhere.
Right.
And you practically kidnapped me, and you insisted that we go on this road trip, which you knew I didn't want to do. I had to do all the driving. You don't even drive.
Oh, come on.
You don't even drive. You made me drive the entire time. How would you even think that would be fun for me? You wouldn't even let me play the radio. I just had to listen to your poetry 24/7.
Well, that was our plan. You were going to drive, and I was going to...
No, that was your plan. I thought it was...
You used to write poems also. Do you remember that at least?
You're exaggerating. I did not write poems.
You wrote poems.
No, you know what I did? I wrote one haiku because you were driving me crazy, and I did it to shut you up.
I remember the haiku that you wrote. It was about my hair. Do you remember it? Do you remember how it went?
Squash spider under my boot. Where'd I put the rags?
Where do I keep the shoe rags?
So stupid.
I still remember it. And so do you, evidently.
Why do you remember that?
Well, why do you remember it?
Because it was like one piece of poetry. One piece, John. One piece. That's it.
You used to like poetry. Do you remember how you used to
you know what? People change.
Do you remember the things that we used to do? You don't remember how, when me and you used to live in Brooklyn together and how we'd buy sunflowers, and do you remember Louie's flower shop around the corner from our place?
Yeah, of course I remember that.
You wanted to, you were writing, what happened to your journals? What'd you do with your journals?
You know what?
Do you show Tommy your journals?
I can't, this isn't good. I'm not having this conversation.
You resent the fact.
The kids are here, there's a play group going on downstairs. You work this out yourself. It's about you. You work it out. I don't want to hear from it. That's it.
Like, really? Who's being dramatic?
Enough. I'm not talking to you anymore. Goodbye.